Hello and welcome to another episode of DC808 on the Wire. As always, I'm Chad Blair here in the Civil Beat studio in Kaimuki, and today we welcome from Washington, D.C., Senator Mazie Hirono. Hello, Senator.
Hi, aloha.
You look terrific.
Kaimuki, my old stomping ground.
That's right. Did you graduate from Kaimuki High School?
I certainly did.
Senator, I'd like to begin with the Violence Against Women Act. Can you tell us the status of the bill? I understand a vote might be coming up Monday, and why this bill is so important.
It's a really important bill because the bill provides protections and support for mainly women who are the victims of domestic violence. And it's time that we reauthorize this bill, and particularly with some provisions that are in the Senate bill that I hope the House will retain. And one of those provisions has to do with making sure that women on Indian reservations who are abused by non-Indian perpetrators will see those perpetrators be prosecuted.
It's my understanding that the Republicans in the Senate yesterday tried to introduce an alternative concerning those Indian lands, and it was defeated pretty handily, correct?
Yes. I voted against that amendment. Once again, it is really important that we reauthorize this Violence Against Women bill because it really provides the kinds of support and protections for women who are the victims. And it shouldn't matter whether you're living on tribal lands or anywhere else in the United States, that these kinds of programs and protections are available.
Is there language in the bill that might address human and sexual trafficking as well?
There are provisions that particularly refer also to protections for immigrants, and many of them are women who are victimized by sometimes their sponsors.
I'd like to move on immigration. You mentioned that just now. I believe there's a bipartisan plan in the Senate to address immigration. Can you tell us the status of that legislation?
What's really hopeful is that this is the group of 8 senators, bipartisan, and that gives me hope that we will be able to have comprehensive immigration reform that will address the 11 million or so undocumented people who are in this country, as well as make a range of other kinds of changes that we need to make. And what this group did was the Gang of 8, as they refer to themselves right now, is to just lay out some principles that would guide the discussions, and I hope a bill that will follow. One of the guiding principles that I'd like to for is to continue to focus on family reunification as a guiding principle, and particularly important for our World War II Filipino veterans in Hawaii who are waiting literally decades to be reunited with their children.
So the legislation would actually have direct impact here at home?
It would have a direct impact everywhere. But we in Hawaii are particularly familiar with immigration since modern Hawaii was as a result of the waves of immigrants who came to Hawaii.
And my understanding is that those 11 million illegal immigrants would be granted automatic citizenship. Is that correct?
No, they would not. No, they would have to earn citizenship. But you know what? We want to bring these people out of the shadows and enable them to work, to pay taxes, and to have the kind of life that they came to this country for.
Just a couple more questions, Senator. I want to talk about Chuck Hagel. You were in those hearings on his confirmation for Defense Secretary, correct?
Yes.
It's been described in the media as having been how shall I put it, an uncivil discussion that was going on, particularly with the Republican senators. I'm thinking of John McCain, the questioning from Ted Cruz and others. What was it like to be in that room? Were they beating up on the senator, former Senator Hagel, as much as it was described in the media?
I thought it was more contentious than it needed to be, but I'm looking forward to his nomination coming to the floor of the Senate for a vote. And what I'm hearing from John McCain is that he would like that to come to a vote, and while he will be voting against it, that they will not filibuster it. I think that's really important. And we also had, I had the pleasure of Leon Panetta coming before the committee yesterday. Secretary of Defense.
Yeah, Secretary Panetta has visited Hawaii several times. Do you have a feeling that Senator Hagel, if he does become Defense Secretary, will care about Hawaii and its role in the Asia-Pacific region in terms of defense as much as Secretary Panetta did? Did you have some assurances that Hawaii will be taken care of?
I certainly hope so, and I did ask him a question about the rebalancing to the Pacific and the focus on the Pacific, and of course the important role that Hawaii plays in our forward position in the Pacific. And I asked for his reassurances that consideration will be there, and he did reassure me. At the same time, you know, that everyone expresses concerns about sequestration and what that would do to these kinds of prioritizing decisions.
My last question for you, of course, with Senator Inouye's passing in December, a great loss for the nation, a great loss for Hawaii. How closely is the delegation now working together? If I recall, Senator Inouye described the delegation as a team, and you were part of that team. Is that teamwork continuing with Senator Schatz, Representative Gabbard, and Representative Hanabusa?
No one can fill Senator Inouye's shoes, and also our beloved Senator Akaka, but as a delegation, our strength has always been because we are a team and we're continuing to work in that vein. And of course, our staffs talk with each other a lot.
Do the four of you get together, or have you had the chance to get together yet?
We have not. I've talked with them, of course, but right now Tulsi is on National Guard duty, so we will be getting together, I hope, pretty shortly after she comes back.
Senator Hirono, it's been a pleasure to speak with
Thank you,
and we look forward to talking with you again. Take care.
Until next time, aloha.
Thank you. For DC808 On the Wire here in Honolulu, I'm Chad Blair. Aloha.